Today we're making hot cross buns. This delicious spiced bread recipe is topped with a cream cheese frosting. If you've tried my cinnamon roll recipe and loved it, then you're really gonna love this recipe. To get started, we're going to add in 1.5 cups of milk to a small pot on medium heat. The goal is to scald the milk. This is basically done by heating up the milk until it becomes frothy around the edges. Once it looks something like this, we're going to transfer it to a bowl and place it off to the side to cool until it's about lukewarm. While the milk is cooling, we're going to work on our raisins. To a pot, add in 1.5 cups of water over medium heat. Add in 1 cup of raisins and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. We're gonna let this come to a boil and then boil for 2 minutes. This will plump up our raisins and give them a softer texture, which should pair nicely with the soft buns. Once the raisins are done boiling, drain them and slightly rinse them, then leave them in the strainer to fully drain. By now our scalded milk should be lukewarm and ready. Add in 1 tablespoon of yeast and 1/2 cup of sugar. Give this a gentle mix and set it off to the side to foam up a bit, which should take about 5 minutes. Once it's foamy, add in 4 tablespoons of softened butter. If your milk is warm enough, the butter should melt. If not, it's okay, it's not a big deal. Add in 2 eggs and give everything a quick mix. To a big bowl, we're going to add in 4 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Give that a quick stir. Add in the wet ingredients and pick a really good spoon because we're going to give this a mix by hand for 5 minutes. Now if you have a stand mixer with a dough hook attachment, go ahead and mix this for 5 minutes on medium speed. If you don't have one, no problem, we're going to mix this by hand anyway. If you're using a stand mixer and the 5 minutes is almost up but your dough is still clinging to the side of the bowl, go ahead and add up to about 1/4 cup of flour. Same goes for hand mixing. But keep in mind, this dough is pretty sticky, so it's going to be sticky no matter what. Once the 5 minutes are up, toss in the raisins and mix for an additional 1 minute. Now we're ready to let this dough rest and rise. To a large bowl, add in a little bit of vegetable oil and rub it all over. Add in the dough and cover with foil. We're going to set this in a warm place to rise for 2 hours. While the dough is resting, grab your 9 by 13 inch baking dish and lightly spray it with some nonstick cooking spray. This is mostly a glue for the parchment paper. Also, very lightly spray the parchment with nonstick cooking spray. After the 2 hours are up, you'll notice that we probably should have sprayed the underside of the foil too. It's fine, no big deal. It's just a sticky dough. We're gonna take this dough and drop it out onto our work surface. Make sure you have plenty of flour nearby. This dough is super sticky and will stick to just about everything. It also helps to have a bench scraper nearby or anything similar. You'll want to use enough flour to keep the dough from sticking to your hand and your work surface. Take your ball of dough and cut it in half. Unfortunately, this is the part where my camera memory storage was so full that my camera stopped recording. But basically, each half should be divided into 6 equal parts and rolled into balls. Place all of your dough balls into your prepared baking dish, cover with foil, and we're gonna let this rest for 30 minutes. I did spray the underside of the foil this time just in case it poofed up enough to touch it. Luckily it didn't. After 30 minutes, take off the foil and toss the baking dish into a preheated oven at 375 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes or until golden brown. I took mine out right at 20 minutes. While that's in the oven, we're going to quickly make the sugar syrup. To a small pot, add in a 1/4 cup of water and a 1/4 cup of sugar. We're going to let this come to a boil and then boil for 1 minute. Once your hot buns are done and out of the oven, take a pastry brush or a sauce brush and brush on that sugar syrup. The only thing left to do is add on the cream cheese frosting, so we're going to make that real quick. To a bowl, we're going to add in 3 ounces of softened cream cheese, 1 tablespoon of softened butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. I almost forgot. Also add in 1/2 tablespoon of water. Mix, mix, mix. At this stage, the frosting is very thin and not really pipeable. You will want to place it in the fridge to firm up a bit, perhaps 15 minutes or so. Once it's had a chance to set up a bit, place it in a piping bag and pipe out those classic traditional lines. And there you have it, hot cross buns. Absolutely delicious. I will definitely make this again. Well worth all the effort. Yes, you can prepare this the night before and bake it in the morning. After you've made the dough balls and placed them in a baking dish, cover with foil, and instead of leaving them out for 30 minutes, place them in the fridge overnight. Then in the morning, let them come to room temperature for about 30 to 45 minutes before baking. If you're interested, I will insert an ingredients list right here. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out, and I'll see you all in the next video.